I don't know. What if James Bond was a woman? Who cares? I guess. Why did we talk about this?
That's the cold open. And then we just cut everything about the Bond talk out.
It's the podcast where we don't give a fuck if anyone listens. That was Placebo. Ooh. Take it easy, lads. Some people might think you're ladies. Welcome to the Boisterous Brothers, or something like that. Damien, did you know that they're going to do a new Indiana Jones film? They're starting to film it next year. Isn't that interesting? And I don't want to kill myself.
Yes. Very interesting. Very interesting stuff.
See you next week.
So we were wondering if we were going to work it in at all, and it has to be the first thing through the fucking gate.
Well, we could start again. We could start. Damien, did you know that they remade Ghostbusters a couple of years ago? It wasn't very well received.
Really? Tell me more.
Damien, what if that James Bond lass was a lass?
Oh, I see. That was what we said would be the topic of conversation this week. So naturally, I've done my preparations, and I have loads of things to say about Doctor Who.
Damien, how many James Bonds were there?
At least 37.
I meant how many people playing James Bond, but that's a good save.
I was going to shoot myself in the foot, so yeah, it's 37, fucking hell.
They're doing a new James Bond, is that what we're talking about? They're not doing a new James Bond. Why are we onto this? Let's talk about fan art.
Okay.
I don't know if art is the right word, or fan. So this is the first piece of fan art that I think I ever received. Unless I did receive a stick drawing or something before.
It's absolutely fucking magnificent.
It's a cross between me and Jack Black, sitting to a lava lamp that's full of cheese. Oh, it's like if I was as girthy as Jack Black, but Jack Black was as bald as I am.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird decision to kind of go with that kind of shape for you. I mean, I would kind of describe you as a little bit more, it's a bit more wiry than that, but they've just gone for it's it's fucking...
Someone's assuming that I wear brown trousers, I think. It's not true.
Well, I think you've kind of clarified for all your viewers what your opinion of trousers is at this point. Sorry, I've had this image for a little while now. I've only just seen that it's kind of got a mouth now. I don't know. All I saw was the scribbles, and I didn't actually see a mouth at all. And now that I've put the face together, it's staring me down, and it's really creepy.
There must be a company out there that I could send that to and say, make that into a plushie. It does kind of look like that, doesn't it? It looks like it's full of something.
I swear to God, if they do that, I'm going to have at least fucking 4 dozen made. All right, and I want them sent to you, and you have to fucking deal with every single one of those motherfuckers.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the next one. This is straight from Ringo Starr. It's a little one he did. It's a ringlet. So George and Damien, peace and love. He got your eyeshadow just right, didn't he?
Oh, that's beautiful. And my lips.
And your big banger in the mouth lips.
Oh, hang on.
What?
What? I've got a swastika in my ear.
Is that true? You got a little swastika in your ear. Who'd have thought that Ringo Starr was a secret racist?
Is that what they think of me?
That's tainted it. Is that what people think, like Damien's a racist?
I mean, I've definitely said a few off-color things here and there, but I don't. Oh, that's devastating.
All right, so this one is me and a lava lamp, and I'm drooling on the lava lamp. I've got like little Jeremy Beadle arms.
Jesus fucking Christ, that is horrific.
That is horrific.
Yeah. Oh, what a special mind made that.
All right, this next one is actual art from Renee, who's someone I follow on Twitter and does lots of art for various things. I think the first thing she did was young ones art. So I appreciate that she does art that most people don't care about. Not so much with young ones, but definitely with me. It took her a long time to do this, I feel, and well done.
That's
brilliant.
That's quite wonderful. It's quite nice to see something that someone's clearly picked up a pen and paper to kind of do properly, rather than some of this fucking insane shit on fucking Microsoft Paint.
Yeah, lovely bit of airbrushing now with Thumbcat.
Naturally. There are a lot
Yes.
of Thumbcats. I feel like that. I feel like this would inspire a lot of people's imagination. Is there not loads?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't check Twitter that much anymore. You know, it's funny because we never reveal the results of the poll for which is worse, Facebook or Twitter, which is shitter. And well, I'll be fucked if I'm ever going to look. The next one is from the guy who sent the first one, Kurtz, whatever his name is, Kevin Smith official. And
Okay.
it's a picture
my
of me
God.
saying Ghostbusters 2016 was a bad movie entirely because it didn't have a speed snorting Burgess Meredith. Which I think is a verbatim quote.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, that's probably the fucking case. Yeah, that's nice.
Yes, thank you.
That's a wonderful likeness of you. I quite like. He's really captured your vascular nose there.
Yeah, well, most people don't notice as well, but both of my eyes
Those are on the same side of my
face,
head.
and my Adam's apple is on the back of my neck.
Oh Jesus, that's a fucking nightmare.
Hey,
Nice
next
goiter there.
we've got Josh Dixon's lovely offerings. Josh sent me these a few weeks ago, and I didn't acknowledge them. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking of sending me anything, there's a good chance I won't acknowledge that either.
I thought you were about to say there's a reason you didn't acknowledge this. No, I think that's a loving portrayal of your likeness.
Very generous with the hair there, Josh. Thank you.
I would say
Also,
so.
he really got my thick neck as well. I have real trouble with my thick neck. I have to get shirts tailored, otherwise I risk a lot of chafing.
You got a nice big 70s kind of collar there as well.
Yeah.
You need to start
just like
wearing it a little bit more open.
No, I like it. I like the way the teeth change as well. It's very funny. Next, we've got a low but on the mark effort from Amy Dunn, who sent Michael Chicklets. Looking very serene, saying hello, George.
Oh my fucking god.
Do you know what really sells it? The full stop after George. Because it could be read any way without that full stop.
Yeah,
with the
you
full
wouldn't
stop,
want
it's
any
very calm.
ambiguity, would you?
Pardon?
You wouldn't want any ambiguity, would you?
We wouldn't. Hello, Michael.
I mean, they've clearly had something very specific to say here with that choice of face. They could have gone with 3 separate likenesses with Michael Chiklis, but they decided that this was the one that was going to paint my picture.
That's the face. Would you chew on Michael Chicklets? Would you get his gooey goodness?
Oh my
this
God.
next effort, I don't know who it's from. Could be from an algorithm. This is what I would look like if I was a poppadom in a golf hat.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah. Brilliant.
So I
I
mean,
didn't realise until recently that it is actually my eyes and mouth.
Yeah, I can kind of spot that. You can definitely see the beard there. But I mean, I don't know what's the context here. There's nothing. This guy just sends you this, right? Because it just feels like something.
I said in a podcast, what if I was a poppadom with a golf hat?
Oh, well,
and you know, there you go.
No, well, I think fortunate myself rather. I kind of forget the rubbish that we say. That's wonderful. I would say something like that couldn't be generated without a brief, but there you go.
Okay, so coming up next, it must be very boring to work in a sex shop because this guy sends me a lot of this stuff. This is from Max Corbel, who literally does work in a sex shop, I believe. But if he doesn't, this is the Hollywood Reporter. West Side Boys. Sierra Leone, the West Side Boys can have it. Commentary. Next, Max sends us a litany of Jeremy Irons as the face behind the Zap hands. The best one is clearly the one with him with a monocle because that actually looks like it could be him.
Yeah, that's actually quite creepy. I don't know, the follow-up with a very happy Jeremy Irons is quite something as well.
Very, very happy Jeremy Irons. He loves those hands.
Oh, fuck it. I've scrolled on. What's it?
Really
Fucking
funny.
Jeremy Irons hates that fucking fudge, man.
No, Jeremy Irons wants that fudge.
Fucking hell, he's going to eat the shit out of that fudge.
I've never heard anyone say I'm going to eat the shit out of something. That's a horrible thing to say, Damien.
Oh, this is so dumb, but it's magnificent.
It's so dumb. It's brilliant. Half a lemon. What would you use with the other? What would you do with the other half?
Why is he upside down? Oh dear.
So if you're listening to this podcast and you're not watching it,
that sucks for you, I suppose.
Coming up next, Max draws the Georg Rockall-Schmidt show. What if Damien was carrying me? I guess.
With my penis, apparently.
Yeah, my legs and slippers look like your cock and balls.
You got the right shade of pink there for the slippers.
The cock and balls thing would make more sense because you're carrying me because I don't have any legs. We've never said anything about a obese Santa naked on a horse, have we?
I don't know. I feel like with that Tim Allen malarkey we might have done.
The that horse looks a bit like Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid to me.
Oh, fucking hell.
Next, Max sends us Friends the movie.
Is this all from the same person, is it?
Yeah, all the last
My
ones.
good
Yeah,
God.
the one since the Hollywood Reporter. Yeah. Friends the movie. Time for Tubby Prolapse. I'm not enjoying Chandler in this picture.
No, I was looking at that as well. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know. Lisa Kudrow's pretty unsettling.
Do you reckon we could get this to be the top fucking search result for Jennifer Aniston topless?
I think we could with a little bit of effort, which I might be prepared to put in. I think we can realize that dream.
Damien, have you ever thought what would happen if Walt what would Damien, why is this a thing? Did we ever say anything about Walton Goggins being a wallet? What? You would never put that in your fucking pocket, would you?
That's no fucking way.
Maybe I'd put it in my man purse, but it's not going in a pocket.
Oh, fucking hellfire. I mean, that is kind of a nightmare in and of itself, but what's really getting me is whatever the fuck that is in the fucking bottom right corner, because that is terrifying, whatever that is.
Yeah, it is terrifying. All right, we've got the Santa Claus. Santa Claus 5. I assume this Santa Claus 5 is a bluey. Lovely.
Oh my god.
So it's Tim Allen with a wrench, and he looks like he's going to use that tool.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some banging in one regard.
This one is simple but effective. I think this could actually be an official sign.
Oh, I mean, definitely. That would make an awesome T-shirt.
Warning, Spacey. Yeah, if anything, Max, you should put that on a T-shirt because I bet people would buy it. Yeah,
there's money to be had right there. I do like the cummy fingers.
Yeah, is that what they are? I thought maybe they were showing that. Oh, the gloves are off.
Danger zone.
Spacey's got his fingers out. Get out of here.
Oh dear.
Spacey's
that's how I choose to interpret it. I think that's as you say, simple but very effective. That's magnificent.
Yeah. Seriously, you should definitely put that on a T-shirt. I'm sure people would buy that. My favorite from him is a really really simple one, but it's Biggles punches a pederast. and the pederast in question is Kevin Spacey. And the actual title is really well done. It looks real.
Yeah. If it weren't for the Photoshop of Kevin Spacey, I'd
I
fucking
didn't think that was
snap
real.
that right up. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one I think is a work of actual genuinely good Photoshop. Because he's got the kind of filter just right on Ramsey's hand.
Yeah, yes.
Biggles in the case of the store-bought pasta, and Gordon Ramsay. So Max has put it through some sort of filter. It looks like it's kind of an old sort of picture on an old novel. But his finger is like an inch away from this dude's nose.
Yeah. He will be inside his face very quickly.
Very good, and I'm sure there's probably one or two I've missed. So, oh yeah, hang on. Yes, there are a couple I've missed. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm still kind of reading from that store-bought pasta thing. The title is fucking superb. I like the notion that store-bought pasta would inflame Ramsey so much and so fucking quickly.
Yeah, he's gonna kill a man now.
Yeah, like no, don't worry about the fucking rifle in that man's hand.
All right,
he's fucked.
Next, we're going to go to Stephanopoulos. When Stephanopoulos runs, but George Stephanopoulos' head with the body of Johnny Five. The next one, the Bill and Ted one, is the first thing Max sent me, and it's William and Edward Kaddish Cavaltations, and I guess they're in bombed-out Berlin. Because obviously they need to collect some Nazis for their history report. And if you look in the Nazis, there's a little hidden Kevin Spacey. Apart from the warning Spacey one and the pederast one, I think this is my favourite, but my ultimate favourite I'm going to send you right at the end. It's after this. Got the wig and everything.
Yeah, they got that fucking bang on.
Yeah, that's spot on. It's one of those phones full of sweets. Delicious.
Excellent stuff.
Oh yeah, they always taste like talcum powder, don't they? They're sweets. But my favourite one it's from the second episode we ever did. So thank you for sending this to us again, Max. Whatever, 18 weeks after, it really doesn't matter, because this, I couldn't stop laughing at this when he sent it to me. I thought this was hilarious. It's Bottle Shock Motherfucker.
Oh, that's fucking magnificent.
It's will Bruce Willis remember the face of the man who tried to kill him? Will he not? Who knows?
That's fucking great stuff.
That should be a film.
It should be a film. Wonderful fucking cast there.
A wonderful... That has to be the ensemble cast. Maybe the wife of Gruber could be Helen Mirren or something. Meryl Streep. Really get the kind of cream of acting in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. That's everything, I think. I may have missed one or two things. Sorry if I have. If anyone is still listening and you would like to send us your fan art, whether it be brilliant or shit, I'll definitely look at it.
Don't expect any recognition or kudos or anything, but you can physically do that, and you have a computer.
You have a computer, and you're listening to this. You have time. Yeah, and we may put it here because I certainly enjoy looking at it. You mad people.
Yeah, I would say thank you very much for the for this stuff, because it's very special. I mean, this alone will entertain me for months. It's absolutely fantastic stuff, and I mean that very sincerely. As nuts as it may be, I love it quite a bit.
I mean, I guess some people might not know what you look like if they want to draw you. If you want to find out what Damien looks like, go to the Boisterous Brothers. It's in a playlist on my channel. It's a podcast we did where we're on screen. And we're not on screen now because we're not in the same room. I mean, we're in the same building, but we
just like to convolute things just for the sake of it. There's nothing simple with the two of us.
Yeah, we're in two separate rooms. There's only one microphone. The microphone is next to two plastic Dixie cups, and those Dixie cups are attached to separate strings, leading the quarter mile around the building to us. We just have to shout down these fucking strings.
Yeah, it's why I have to laugh so loud. Because otherwise I wouldn't really.
Do you remember doing that at school? Like, oh, let's go outside
Laughing.
and what?
Laughing.
Did you say muffing?
Laughing. Muffing.
No.
I definitely didn't do any muffing at school.
The thing with the two... yeah, I know, right? That wasn't until I was 27.
That's ancient history, man. I don't give a fuck.
Getting two plastic cups and attaching them with string. And
I will have done that once in my life.
You'd use them down a telephone. I remember having to do it. It was an exercise we had to do in year 3 or something, to prove how fucking fantastic the world is or whatever. I bet if you did that to kids now, if you said, we're going to go outside, you hold this, you can talk to each other, I bet the kids would be like, what the fuck is this shit? I'll just talk to them on my fucking iPhone 7, you bell end.
Yeah.
Also, stab, stab, stab. Give me your wallet, bruv.
Burn!
Yeah, this is Theresa May's Britain, you cunt.
Yeah, I definitely remember doing like something like that. I imagine I would have done it in primary school, but I kind of feel like it would have been some kind of exercise in one of our science lessons much, much later on, like fucking 7 or 8 years down the fucking line.
Our A-level physics
Oh,
lessons.
I think so. I mean, I imagine like, was it Mr. Ratcliffe or whoever it was, would have, maybe not Ratcliffe, but I feel like one of those.
Can I just say, can I just stop you? You know that his name was Radcliffe, not Ratcliffe, but also, yes, Ratcliffe. Yes, continue.
I think it was Mr. Cove actually, but I feel like that's something that they would have easily used to demonstrate a principle, right? Kind of tongue in cheek, but nevertheless, we would have still made that fucking crap during our time, like late GCSEs or something like that,
There was a lot of
like
colouring
16...
in at school, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. I always loved our music lessons because 80% of the time the music teacher wouldn't be there, so we'd have a substitute, and what we would do was we'd get a sheet that was laminated with some information about, I seem to remember one about Fender Stratocaster. We'd write it out verbatim and then answer like 8 questions at the end of it. And that was a lesson.
I remember
it was all in complete silence, essentially.
So it's different in every school in Britain anyway, and I'm sure this is very different to other countries, but we had to do tech, which would change every 8 weeks, I seem to remember. So 1 week one half term you'd be doing metalwork, and then the next you'd be doing sewing. And I seem to remember when I was doing sewing, I'd broken my arm, so I couldn't do it. So the woman just gave me, the teacher, if you could call her such a thing, the sewing teacher, gave me a sheet, and she said, oh, just do the sheet then. And it was a sheet where, it was one of these fucking stupid worksheets where it tells you the answer, and you just got to write in full sentences. And I started doing it, and she said, no, don't write on the sheet. You can't write on the sheet. You have to write the question out in your workbook.
Like these sirens drop down from the fucking ceiling. Don't!
So I spent, for at least 4 weeks writing the questions. Just copying the questions. Because they were all like questions that were 3 sentences long. These long, convoluted questions. Do you know, I could have I wouldn't have done, but I could have learnt a foreign language in that time. What a waste of time. I think there's a real debate about whether it's right to send your kids to private school, or right to send kids to private school because you're giving them an unfair advantage. But you know what? I fucking would.
Yeah, I would say so, because I think a lot of the stuff
state school is a fucking waste of time.
Yeah, it's absolute fucking garbage.
Yeah, it is. And we went to a good school, and a lot of it was.
And it was still garbage.
It was still garbage. A lot of it was just like us twiddling our thumbs. Music.
Oh,
basically, music was like, here are 15 pianos. You'll have to get it in pairs, and basically 30 minutes of this will be you listening to the other person you're paired with bang on the keyboard like you're an orangutan.
Someone's going to play Chopsticks, and then maybe someone's going to play Peaches by the Stranglers, but that's it.
If somebody plays Chopsticks, that is the fucking best thing you're going to hear today, because most of it is just going to be like, all right, this setting makes everything sound like a machine gun. This setting makes everything sound like a helicopter. Let's just check every key. Yep, machine gun, machine gun, machine gun. It doesn't even change in tone or anything.
Well, I think... I don't remember those lessons too well, but I think you were maybe given a little bit of sheet music and like something small to kind of like practice or something like that. But I don't know. We had these cheap fucking keyboards, and they never had any... They didn't have headphones, I don't seem to remember. Or did they? I can't remember. But I just remember it being this...
I think it depends on the class, because I went to a different school before you, and they didn't have They didn't have
I don't know. I feel like
headphones.
it's one of those things where they would definitely have been in short supply after, like halfway through the term. You're like, well, you'd have a full
After
complement.
Dale
but...
sat on one.
Well, I think that, loads of people have been lifting those fucking things. They weren't the best headphones in the world, but it was something to nick,
Fuck, why did I never consider that? I was all about soldering irons. It was like fucking porridge. It was like you'd meet at break and it'd be like, all right, what did you have for first period? Oh, I had woodwork. Great. What did you get? I got myself a set square. There's you'd never need it. You'd never need it. And if you wanted one, you could buy one for like £1. But it's like prison. It's like I'll fucking steal anything that isn't bolted
I always
down.
remember at the beginning of the terms where they'd have well, we've got like these delightful study packets that you can buy from the school, and they give out like samples, right?
Oh, I
and
don't
just
remember
leave
that.
them in the class, and there'd just be like pencil cases and stuff like that.
Oh,
And just
right.
the full complement of everything that you'd fucking need. By the end of the lesson, it's all fucking gone, and they're just like, what's happened here? It's like, what did you fucking expect? It's all gone. If it's not nicked, it's been smashed to fucking pieces.
Well, that's the thing, because I remember people would nick a lot of stuff, and it was never to nick it. It was always like throw it at
fucking
people.
like who's got a lighter? Who's got a lighter? We're just gonna melt something.
Oh, I remember Dave. Do you remember David? Reds and greens.
Reds and greens.
He must have had about 5 homework diaries because I would constantly steal them and burn them.
Oh, that's just the idea of something called a homework diary makes my fucking skin crawl.
A homework diary that I would sign myself, and someone would come and check, and it'd be like, yep, my mum looked at this. My mum didn't give a fucking shit. Just because my mum looks at the homework diary doesn't mean I did the homework. So why would I waste her time? How dare you make my mum look at this stuff? How dare you waste her time? Fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say is my regret about school is, honestly...
turning up.
Yes, honestly, it's turning up. I had to travel in on a bus, so it took me 45 minutes. So it's not like I could really miss a period or anything. Miss a period. Oh, and that brings us back to James.
No, it doesn't. We're going to power through and talk about school for another 40 minutes.
No, I really do regret going a lot of the time. I'm not saying I regret doing my A-levels or anything. I just regret going to all those bullshit lessons. Going to tutor period and stuff. Fuck off. And any time it was a recap.
I
A
thought tutor period
recap lesson.
was like the welcome relief, because I don't remember there ever being really much in the way of recaps.
But it was on a Monday morning, and I was always fucking hungover. I wanted to go back and talk about stuff we stole to throw at people, but I can't remember any particular examples. I seem to remember that in photography we had to make a camera obscura, and I put wings on mine and painted Red Baron on the side and launched it onto the roof of the building, and I bet remnants of it are still there.
We had to draw like fucking portraits of like the person sitting next to us in an
I
art
don't remember
class
that.
once.
I bet that was an abomination.
Oh dear! And like
Was it
naturally,
a tick for a nose?
No, it wasn't. No, I remember what because we naturally, we had to draw each other, right? And like you didn't bother at all. You had like maybe the outline of my head, and then it just had this mangled face. It's like this is what happens when you like. Don't drink and drive like panda cars, you fucking bastards. It's just like, yeah, David, check this out. I'm really pleased.
I don't understand. What did I write?
I don't know. It's like don't drink.
Don't drink and drive like panda cars, you fucking bastards.
No. Don't drink and drive panda cars or something like that. I don't remember. All I remember was something about drinking panda cars, whatever that is, and you fucking bastard. And it was drawn like a sort of it was like a sort of warning poster, right? And it's like you turned to be like, yeah, this is really funny, and then we laugh and it's like, all right, start bringing them up to the front. We're gonna mark them. So everyone else has drawn these regular pictures, and you have to hand this fucking thing over.
I remember. Okay, all right. I don't remember that, but I do remember in biology. But we were 15. And one of the lessons was draw a poster alerting people to tooth decay. So I drew a massive tooth as Lord Kitchener with the caption, "Brush your teeth, you bastards." and the teacher got it up and was like, "How, what would your mum say?" And I was like, my mum would want to know why I was drawing pictures in your lesson under your supervision. My mum would, what? Why are we doing this?
Terrible fucking stuff.
Looking back on it, I mean, it was a good school, and a lot of the stuff was so shameful.
Oh gosh, yeah, fuck yeah, it was absolutely atrocious. I mean, I never realized at the time because I guess I had no context, but like all the textbooks that we had were absolutely fucking ridiculously out of date. Right, I'm not just saying this, right? I'm not just saying this, but I watched a video in history where it was in black and white, and it was introduced by a guy sat behind a desk who said, "Suez has been in the national consciousness for some time now, like it happened 5 years ago." I'm not joking. Yeah, but go on. I had a German textbook as well, and one of the examples of introducing yourself was like, "Hello, my name is Max," or whatever. I'm 15 years old, and I come from West Germany. Oh dear! I remember, like, for our photography lessons, I got one of the loaner cameras there, and something that they had kind of knocking around. And I swear to God, whether you put it in the film or you flip open the flap, it was embossed, but it says there, "Made in the USSR."
Yeah, and our friend got his semi-digital camera when digital hadn't really established itself. So he had a digital camera, but it still had a film in it. Mm-hmm. It was just you could select which photograph to print onto the roll of film in the camera.
Right.
Something that is completely redundant now. I'm sure you couldn't find those, but it must have cost his dad about $1,000.
Yeah, I feel like it was like 900 quid, $1,000 or something like that. It was ridiculous. And like I do remember, like, because he came in like so proud of it, and I seem to remember our teacher. He was like, "Yeah, it's all very well and good, but the way the technology will progress, this will be almost valueless within a couple of years. You understand that, right?"
Is that what he said? That's pretty upfront of him.
Yeah, I'm not remembering exactly what it was, but it was something very akin to that. I don't know if it was kind of like spite because the guy actually had the most advanced camera in the room. It was actually pretty nice, but it is accurate. I mean, that thing will be almost useless now, and what you buy now is a fraction of that price.
The critical thing we're missing when we say it was spite, maybe, was he had the most advanced camera in the room, and he was not interested in photography at all.
Yeah.
He failed his photography exam. I think he got a U in it, which is ungraded, because he didn't do it.
Yeah, I remember, because after you had all the photography exams and what have you, you had like a sort of grace period after that where everyone would be in the room
mounting their work.
Yeah, mounting it. Yeah, I think it was considered part of the examination or something like that.
You get your leg up, then you've got to lead with your anus, Damien, if you're going to mount it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he was in a different photography group. I would sit in on those lessons because I think I switched one of my art lessons, so I would be in there by myself in the same room, and I watched it happen. So everyone else is kind of like chuntering along for a couple of hours. It was like all day, or at least, the morning. Yeah, there's plenty of time. And this guy, he's just absolutely fucking around. He approaches me after like the 90-minute mark saying like, "Damien, I've got fucking nothing." And like with a big smile on his face, but also like quickly followed by, "What do I do?" And then panic washes over.
I don't understand. Yes, he spent the whole afternoon developing photographs that were just of like the ends of negatives.
It's all fucking dirge. There was some terrible stuff in those fucking lessons. I do remember some of. One of the art exams, and there was this girl, I can't remember quite what the brief was, but she made this giant kind of like papier-mâché like maquette of a seal, and it was something out of fucking Hellraiser. I mean, it was supposed to be cute, but it looked like this thing was inside out, screaming in fucking pain. And the thing is, like, when you're doing stuff like that, the teacher that she had was very gentle and quite... I suppose liberal for lack of a better term. And she was like, "Yeah, this is great," and like the people around her was like, "Yeah, no, it's nice, it's nice, it's nice." But I'm looking at this thing from the other end of the room, and it's just piercing my fucking soul. This thing is an absolute fucking agony. All I could hear was it begging to be put out of its fucking misery. Absolutely fucking terrible.
There must be a vault somewhere that is just full of children's drawings, because they are windows into nightmares, aren't they?
Well, it doesn't have to be children, as we've found earlier this episode. They could be fully formed adults.
But there's something with children's drawings that, and they have like a naivety about them, which, all the stuff we saw today, they're deliberately weird.
Yeah.
Whereas with children's drawings, they often are unintentionally weird, or that they're weird where the kid has tried to draw something that is weird, but they don't really understand why it's weird.
Right. Okay.
And things like that, and stuff like that is fascinating.
Yeah, I would say so. I think somewhere in my old house, there's going to be a Christmas card that I made for my dad when I was maybe like 5 years old, and I just drew this really remedial kind of drawing of a snowman, just like I think maybe like Biro or something like that, and it's just supposed to be like a quite quaint Merry Christmas thing. And I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember when my dad showed me, a few years back. It was he kept it for a very specific reason, because he says it's one of the most psychotic fucking things he's ever seen in his whole fucking life. And I agreed with him. I could never recreate like something anywhere near as kind of aggressive or fucking bizarre as that.
You better dig it out now.
I'll try to. I'll see if I can't find that. But all it was just a smiling snowman. But it's the most fucking insane thing I've ever seen. I've ever fucking made.
Yeah, snowmen are quite weird, aren't they? They're only here for a while, but they never really go away. They just become water in the ground.
Soon they become vapor, and then they're inside your lungs.
That's what someone should make a film about. It should be a film. This is what James Bond with a woman should be. It should be the baddie is a snowman, all creepy, but then when spring comes, it melts, but the groundwater is still the snowman, still evil.
Right. Okay.
I've never seen that. I've never seen a film where like the baddie is natural gas or something.
It's completely invisible.
Completely invisible. Pretty benign.
Completely conquering. People just drop dead, and they never actually understand what the antagonist actually is.
Okay, so do you want to talk about James Bond now?
I feel like we're obliged to, at the very least. I don't want to say I want to.
43 minutes in. Well, at the beginning, maybe I'll say something like, if you want to hear us talk about James Bond, skip to 35 minutes.
And you'll still be disappointed.
You'll still be disappointed, because it won't be going on until 40 minutes. James Bond as a woman, I've heard this floated a few times. I guess before we talk about James Bond, maybe as a woman, we should talk about Doctor Who is definitely a woman now.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're a huge Doctor Who fan, and I know that your favourite Doctor Who is Kevin Scarfe. Damien, why do you hate women as Doctor Who? Women as Doctor Who. Why did you hate that episode where 4 women were Doctor Who in a trench coat?
So four very tiny women, or just one massive Doctor Who?
Damien, you fucking misogynist. They may be tiny, but they've got big hearts and very big brains.
I'm so glad you said brains.
Oh yeah, no, they've got tiny breasts. That wouldn't work.
Yeah, no, that's why I myself, Damien, don't give the episode any credence. There was no whacking material to be found.
And one of them has massive knackers.
Oh, juvenile, but it works.
Do you give a flying fuck about Doctor Who being a woman?
No, not at all.
No. Do you think that it's forced upon us? I think a charge against the whole Doctor Who thing was its political correctness, but I'm not sure it is.
So they were saying that Doctor Who was politically incorrect because...
No one was saying that, but people were saying Doctor Who has become a woman because the BBC wants to be politically correct, and they want to have a woman in a role that's only ever been played by a man. And I agree that I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think that making someone into a woman to be politically correct is a good thing. But I think making them a woman because it works or because she's a good actress and she fits into the role, I don't see a problem with that. And I guess that's my opinion on James Bond. I mean, or anything. I mean,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
unfortunately, it's one of those things that people kind of, recontextualize as they see fit to, for whatever their argument's going to be.
well,
It's one It's one of the things that I
yes,
don't think anyone's going to kind of judge the performance subjectively because of that.
yeah, right.
Somewhat, it's a potential shame, really. But I mean, Doctor Who's not a great example because I myself am not a fan, and I'm not really going to be checking that out.
No, well, Ghostbusters 2016, is the example everyone goes to, and I think that what they did wrong was they said, well, we want to be progressive. I mean, I assume they said this. I don't think, I mean, to me, and I've looked through those emails where they talk about feminism and stuff, but I think it's way more cynical than that. I think Ghostbusters was all about, oh, if we make them women, that'll get attention, and that'll stir something up, and people, the Huffington Post will write about how progressive we are, and I think it was all about marketing, as most of these things are. But in terms of kind of like let's be progressive, the mistake they made with Ghostbusters, and I think the mistake that people really don't like, is they sat down and they said, we're going to make the Ghostbusters women. Whereas if they'd actually been progressive, if they'd actually been fair-minded, they'd have said, we're going to cast 4 actors, whether they be men or women, or black or white. We don't, we're not going to actually write that into the character. We're just going to see actors and see what works. Well, what if they came out and they said, oh, we cast a woman, but it's only because no men wanted it?
I mean, I'm sure they could try pulling that one, but I don't think anyone's going to fucking believe it.
Haven't the last 3 male doctors all been like, it is a dream. It is a dream to be Doctor Who. I have imagined doing this since I was a kid, but I hate doing it. I'm only going to do a season. I mean, I know that's obviously an exaggeration, but wasn't Peter Capaldi like... Wasn't he, he's going to be the Doctor. He's going to be the Doctor for this generation. He loves Doctor Who. He's a true fan. He's not just an actor doing it. He's a true fan, and he did it for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I pay so little attention to stuff like that. Right. It feels like Peter Capaldi just became the Doctor, yeah. The Doctor, yeah. Because
I've never seen an episode of Doctor.
I think I've seen one. I think my girlfriend watches it every now and again, and I've caught bits of it. And I mean, there's definitely a reason I don't watch it, but it's one of those things that they kind of announced the Christmas special where they're going to do the regeneration bit and introduce Peter Capaldi, and I feel like that was like a matter of months ago. I didn't, other than only recently when there was this furore about recasting as a woman, did I realise that they were retiring him, but it just felt like that he'd had barely a season's run, really.
Well, okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure he left of his own volition, right? And I think that the mistake they've made with the new Doctor Who's, from Eccleston to Tennant to Capaldi, and probably with this new person as well. And I'm not saying this to be spiteful. I think that the mistake they've made is they've cast proper actors. Like Eccleston, Tennant, and Capaldi, they have careers. They can go off and do other things. And all of them, they're not just people who are like, oh, I'm so fucking lucky to be in Doctor Who. They've all got options. They can really do whatever they want. If fucking Christopher Eccleston says, I just want to do stage for a couple of years, he can do that.
Yeah.
And I don't really think that people who played it before had quite that much clout. They weren't these established people in the same way. And obviously Doctor Who isn't James Bond. Daniel Radcliffe, or whatever his name is, in Full Spectrum Warrior, he got paid something like $39 million for the last James Bond.
Right. Okay.
It's not the same, is it?
No, it's not the same.
I could completely see why if you were James Bond, you'd want to stay in that role for as long as you could.
I suppose so, but Daniel Craig's fucking retiring from it now. He's done it for what it feels like, even though it was 3 or 4 movies.
He's doing one more.
Is it one more?
Mhm, he's
Ah,
doing one
right,
more,
okay.
yeah.
I thought you'd already kind of stepped away from the role.
Well, maybe I should look
Uh,
that up. I don't fucking know. No,
'Cause I heard-
no preparation.
Because I heard that, well, I don't think that they were talking about it, but I think a lot of people were kind of hoping for Idris Elba, and the kind of furore involved with James Bond now being black, and it's like, well, that's not what that's not what the original material says, but well, yeah, and the conflict therein, really.
I'm just looking. Apparently, he was rumored to have been paid $65 million for Spectre, so not £39 million, £48 million.
Right. Okay.
Wow. I wonder what would happen if you said to him, "No, we'll give you 20." Like, once you're offering someone that much money, I mean, what is the difference?
Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand what those negotiations must be like. But I guess it's not the first time that he'll have had that much money put in front of him. So I guess you get kind of blasé about it, and you kind of start throwing it around. Because if someone obviously put that in front of me, I'd start foaming at the mouth and probably just kind of drop to the floor for a few minutes. Because that's that.
Thinking
that
of all the
changes how
pachinko machines you could buy.
and how I can gussy them up and go to the movies.
The first film Roger Moore was in, he got paid. First Bond film he was in, he got paid £180,000. I think that was The Spy Who Shagged Me. he obviously exchange rates are different, etc., etc.
And past and things like that.
Blah, 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 blah.
It was actually several $1 trillion.
Yes, he actually owns a large part of the southern hemisphere. It's all ocean, but still,
Yes.
it makes a
What
lot of money
most
from
people
controlling
don't-
the shipping lanes. He's a pirate now.
Yeah, well, he was anyway. But what people don't know that, in fact, that after his death, Roger Moore had in his will that he would actually be buried gold-plated.
He would be gold-plated.
Mm.
Of
course.
Also, all they do is bury a gold statue.
Yeah. Well, he wanted all of his money to go down with him.
Well, what if Austin Powers was a woman?
Well, who cares? I imagine is the resounding answer there.
Well, that's the answer to every podcast with a question, isn't it? That we've done.
Don't tune in next week.
I think we should just kind of completely dissolve the pretense of this shit and just talk about anything. Just talk about the color of my floorboards.
Oh, I think we should just set up the Skype so that it records automatically, so it can just be an entirely candid phone call. And we can just get, just whinge. I'll whinge about my job for, like 20 minutes. And all right. So for female James Bond. So
would she bang loads of guys? Or would she be a lesbian? It's just James.
I feel
just
like
James Bond
that
with
James
a strap
Bond movie.
on.
All right. So
fucking loads of dudes at the arse.
With all right. So we've got a woman playing Bond, but she's got like quite a lot of like really kind of psychosexual idiosyncrasies, like damage along with it. It's not just that she will use a strap-on, but she always wears it. And so she's in that, it's a massive fucking like Black Mamba type thing. And when she's, I don't know,
What?
say we'll Google it.
Where did you get yours from? Do you have insurance on it?
I want to say it's something that's almost visible, like whenever she's on screen. Like it can be masked by clothes and what have you, but you can very clearly see the outline to the point that you can almost see like the finer details of the shaft.
Right. Okay. So she's wearing very tight, very thin trousers. Right.
Well, yes. Yeah. Well, not necessarily. It
So
could just be a really, really, really massive strap-on.
Yeah, but it's under the trousers, right? Or she's just wearing it all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying it's so fucking massive that even with loose trousers.
Yeah. I mean, now that you said that, I'm thinking Hillary Clinton could do it.
I was thinking Sue Perkins, actually.
Really? I know. I see her more of a sort of Q.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I know in the last one there was this whole thing about James Bond has a kind of gay moment. And
oh yeah.
And you know what? I guess I'm kind of appalled that anyone thinks that is notable. So what? Honestly.
No, they're talking about the uncut version if you buy the Blu-ray Steelbook. And it's just Daniel Craig and Javier Bardem, and they are just fucking going at it bareback. It is uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they
unless you're into
sex.
that thing, of course, it's it's far be it for me to say. But it's there, they show it and they don't sugarcoat it. They get right up in there. You get that proper that proper porn angle where you just see like balls slapping against the cheeks. It's
Tell
you
me
don't
more,
even see
Dave.
the actors. I mean, they were really proud of it because they said that we didn't use body doubles, but it kind of feels a little bit kind of redundant to say that because you never actually see the actors' faces.
It could have just been a clip from porn.
By all means, it would have saved the studio a lot of money, but they were adamant it was just a question of integrity, and you got to kind of respect that, I guess.
Well, I think that there are two eras of Bond, right? There's the kind of fun, wacky era. I mean, maybe there's more really, but I see it as kind of the fun, wacky era. And you can argue that Sean Connery's was a bit more serious than Roger Moore's, blah blah blah. But after the Bourne Identity came out, the people making Bond shit their pants and thought, we are so fucking old-fashioned and out of date. We'll just copy the Bourne Identity. Right? So they made it kind of super actiony and everything. I think that it'll keep like that. But I'd love to see James Bond played by a woman, where it's just a woman making quips and laughing at men's small dicks and stuff. she gets them in bed, and her whole fucking strategy to get information out of them isn't to bed them. It's to
completely emasculate them.
Absolutely humiliate them. Take a few photos and be like, right, where are the jewels or whatever she's doing.
There's like an obligatory scene in like future Bonds in this kind of leg of the franchise where there's some dude and he's on the bed with handcuffs and she's just marching these people into the hotel room just to look at his dick.
Or they do it. They're like, oh, the action thing's played out now, and we can't go back to the thing where it was Roger Moore in a car doing corkscrews over canals or whatever. We've got to do hyper realistic. So all it is it's Bond. It's irrelevant if it's a man or a woman. It's just she goes to somebody else's country. She's in the top floor of some hotel, or she's in an embassy, or she's in an office where everybody in that fucking country's intelligence organizations knows exactly what she's doing. It doesn't matter because she's an officer. She's a commander in the Navy. Everyone knows that she's a British intelligence asset. All she does is recruit locals, pays them a fucking pittance, and they risk their lives to pass on information, just like in real life. That's what would happen. She doesn't do anything. She just sits in a fucking office. She knows she's bugged. She knows she's watched. She's under surveillance constantly. Doesn't matter. She's there to do a job. All fucking James Bond would ever do is run other people.
Yeah, so it sounds pretty good. There'd be a lot of downtime in something like that. So you've got this person that kind of gads about the town a little bit, gets laid. Yeah, it sounds like an enjoyable movie.
The whole story is, she's in somewhere. She's in Jordan, and there's a younger, swarthy man who seduces her. And you're like, oh, what are you doing? You're putting everything at risk. And then you realise at the end, actually, she's never been interested in him. She might not even be straight. It's irrelevant. She's just been playing him. She's just been feeding him loads of information. And at the end, it's some poor bastard on their side rather than some poor bastard on her side that gets slotted. That's it.
Yeah. But the end of the movie is just this fantastic montage of just bullets being put into people's heads.
It's like 17 people die, and at the end, someone says this has given us a 0.3% advantage.
But it's that is quantifiable. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, no, it's definitely quantifiable. Yeah, we've got loads of other people doing this exact same thing across the world. So thanks.
She returns to London. A nice apartment there waiting. She gets back to her life, faces straight in. There's seemingly no signs of wear with any of this.
No regret. Yeah, but she hasn't killed anyone or anything. She's trained in
not directly,
small arms
of
and
course.
Stuff. No, not directly, but yeah, she's responsible for ruining a lot of lives. There's a lot of people in some horrible third world jail because of her who've got caught.
So we're still saying Hillary Clinton for this? I was going to say Clinton. Oh, fucking hell.
Or Chelsea Manning, maybe.
I'll see. Okay, so we're not going to go with Mel and Sue. That's definitely not on.
James Bond is played by 2 women. I'm James and I'm Bond.
I just wanted that this is the movie they choose to bury the franchise with, and that's where
Wait,
they burn James Bond alive.
If James Bond's a woman, is she going to be called James Bond?
I feel like James is one of those names that's kind of, in very bizarre circumstances, is technically unisex. You could probably get away with it. Or it'd be Jamie Bond.
Jamie Bond, I was thinking about that, yeah. Yes, which kind of lends it to a younger woman. And what I was going to say was, I would have so much respect for the world if the studio just said, fuck it, we're going to have a minger.
All right, here you go. 50 million budget.
Because you know, if they ever do it, it's going to be, an attractive lady. And I don't think there's as much onus on getting an attractive man. I mean, I think there is a bit. They couldn't have had. They wouldn't have had Steve Buscemi as Bond, would they?
I suppose not, but I think I would love to see him in that role.
I think he'd be great. I don't want to kind of harp on about how Bond isn't realistic. I don't think that's really the point, but it's more the point now than it has been. And I don't know. I kind of liked Bond a bit more when it was
A bit more wacky.
Yeah. Oh, hello there. I'm Dick Aplenty. Oh, I must be dreaming. I'm a woman and I love cock.
Oh man, that's good.
That's what it fucking should be. It should be a woman. All it is a woman in some other country. I don't know. Trying to stop Blowfinger from getting some gold or some shit, and she just fucking has sex with loads of dudes.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think it's necessary. I think if we get to 2118 and there's still not being a woman James Bond, I don't think it's a problem.
Well, it's weird to think that, that something like that would still be going on in 100 years.
Right, yeah. I mean, they did Spy, where a woman is kind of important in that. But I think they should just do something like a bit more of a modern Austin Powers with a woman as a lead, and make it actually funny, and make it not about her being a woman. It's just kind of incidental if you want. I think that would work. Use it. I think if she went around it, really.
Yeah.
Especially now, it takes itself a bit more seriously. Maybe at the end of Daniel Craig's run, it's like, well, thank you. Obviously you've been the rough Bond, so you can go back into storage. So then he goes into this room, and there's all these like cryo tubes, and there's all the previous Bonds are in the cryo tubes. He gets into his, and then whoever's in charge goes, okay, what do we want next? Do we want Missy Bond? We could really go for it and get out War Bond. Not sure about him.
Sorry, War Bond.
War Bond. Richie Bond, he's played by Macaulay Culkin. Well, George said he wanted a minger.
All right, we got me Bond.
Skateboarding Bond. Dog Bond. We could have a Dog Bond. That's played. Will Ferrell does his voice.
Excellent.
It's obviously a very tight knit poodle.
You could always have the Lego Bond movie as well.
Lego Bond. That's it.
But female Lego Bond.
No.
It's
It's androgynous. It's all text to speech.
They just, they get one of those Lego figures with no hair or, no discerning features. It's just that plain face.
It's just that plain face and kind of this weird connecting top.
My God, Bond, what is the hole in your head for?
It's for putting a hat on.
It's for cock-a-lot.
I'm sorry, what? It's for cock-a-lot.
Yeah. What was
Oh, your cockatoo has evolved into a cock-a-lot. Oh, yes. Sorry, what were we going to say? Why did you say cock-a-lot?
The dude in your hypothetical Bond movie.
Dick Aplenty.
Dick Aplenty. Oh, not cock-a-lot. You can see what I was going for. I meant to say Dick Aplenty. Fucking
hell, when's the last time you saw a Bond? I haven't seen a James Bond in about 15 years. I'm not 10. Yeah. See you next week. I love a bit of Bond. Is that enough? Please don't unsubscribe. I like Bond.
Right. Okay. So you're doing a bit of damage control.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but it's not immature garbage masquerading as something mature at all.
No, okay. How about Bond is passable? How about that? It's neither here nor there.
Well, we both know that isn't true. Yes, fine.
I watched the movies.
And in the world of Neil Buchanan, who is Tim Allen, who is Bond, ta-ra for now. Fucking let's get the head from Art Attack to do Bond.
Yeah.
Hello, it's me, Bond. Oh no, I'm a British businessman in a casino.
And he melts down. Brains, head explodes. Brains everywhere.
Fuck.
Very
these.
short leg of the franchise.
All right, ta-ra. To conclude this episode, I wanted to include a poem read by David Charlesworth, who you can follow on Twitter at Lenny Lasher. It's nothing to do with me. I just thought it was fun. Enjoy.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you come in. I'd like to read a poem for National Poetry Day. This is called The Tiger. It's by a child called Nail, who is 6 years old. The tiger. He destroyed his cage. Yes, yes, the tiger is out. Thank you for stopping by.